A global tussle between foreign investors and Devas and the Indian government stems from a 2005 satellite deal between Antrix Corporation, the commercial arm of the Indian Space Research Organisation, and Devas Multimedia, a Bangalore-based startup formed in December 2004. In this video, we shall know about this unsuccessful deal, the parties involved, and why Devas Multimedia had to be ultimately dissolved by the National Company Law Tribunal in 2021, an order that was upheld by the Supreme Court recently. Devas signed an agreement with Antrix to provide multimedia services to mobile users using the leased S-band satellite spectrum over 20 years. According to ISRO officials, the International Telecommunication Union granted India S-band communication spectrum in the 1970s, and some of this was with ISRO. To give more perspective, NASA uses S-band to communicate with the Space Shuttle and the International Space Station. By 2003, there was a fear that the spectrum would be lost if not used effectively. 40 MHz of S-band was given to the Department of Telecommunication for terrestrial users, and 70 MHz was to be put to efficient use by the Department of Space. Some initial consultations took place in the US between top ISRO officials and a US consultancy named Forge Advisors, which had satellite communication experts. Initially, an MOU was signed by Forge and Antrix in July 2003 for use of the satellite spectrum for growth of communication systems in India. But later, a startup was envisaged and Devas Multimedia was founded. The 2005 deal progressed smoothly for 6 years and Devas was able to attract foreign investors. Then, in 2011, the deal was cancelled by the UPA government, citing requirement of satellite spectrum allotted to Devas for security purposes. The decision was taken in the midst of the infamous 2G scam and allegations that the Devas deal involved the handing over of communication spectrum valued at nearly 2 lakh crore for a pittance. Devas and its foreign investors approached international tribunals and courts seeking compensation. After the NDA government came to power in 2014, the CBI was asked to investigate the deal. In August 2016, it filed a charge sheet against 8 officials from Devas, ISRO and Antrix linked to the deal for being a party to criminal conspiracy. Among the 8 is former ISRO chairman G. Madhavan Nair and former Antrix executive director K. R. Sridhamurthy. The CBI has charged the accused of causing a loss of about 578 crore to the government through the deal. In 2018, the ED filed a charge sheet under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act against a former managing director of Antrix and 5 Devas officials, stating that Devas transferred 85% of its 579 crore funding to the US under various claims. In January 2021, Antrix filed a plea in the NCLT for liquidation of Devas in India, saying that it was incorporated in a fraudulent manner. On May 25, the NCLT ordered the liquidation, but the order was challenged by Devas Multimedia and its shareholder. On Monday, the Supreme Court upheld the NCLT order. Devas Multimedia claimed that the agreement with Antrix achieved great innovation and introduced and used technologies that eventually brought huge revenues to Antrix. But the Supreme Court maintained that if the deal between Devas and Antrix was itself fraudulent, then every product or outcome of that deal was fraudulent as well. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman held a press conference on Tuesday in which she claimed that the Supreme Court's order on the Antrix-Devas deal was proof of the Congress's misuse of power. She further slammed the party for not invoking the National Security Clause.
It took 6 full years for the UPA themselves to cancel the order in 2011. And even when they cancelled it, glimpses of what was completely wrong against national security, that it was a fraud upon the people of India, a fraud on the treasury of India, and a fraud against the country.
She also said that personal properties of investors will be included in the case and that the central government will challenge the international award granted to Devas after the Supreme Court order. A Federal Report.